Biggest takeaway, never sit next to Georgia Tech fans.
Welcome to My Got a Podcast. I'm Jim Wood. In this bonus episode, I'm joined by not only John Powell, but his son Carter as well. Carter tells us what his experience was like at the Georgia Tech game. As always, remember to check out store.mygotapodcast.com to see our latest merch. And you can follow us on social media at My Got a Podcast. Finally, if you like what you hear, please subscribe, rate, 5 stars obviously, and review the show. If you leave us a review, you just might hear it on an upcoming episode. Now, let's join the conversation in progress. So Carter, you got to go, this was your first game in person this season, is that?
Yes,
correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and then first game, was this your first Georgia away game altogether? Like, was this your first game at Tech?
I'm pretty sure I went to Bobby Dodd Stadium before.
Okay.
Yeah, we went to Mark Richt's last game with one of.
That's right. Okay, I actually do that. You told me that before. I forgot. I don't have a good memory. Okay, so that's cool. So at least you kind of knew your way around a little bit.
I don't know what he remembered.
I was like 5 years old when we went. So
Okay. So it was a pretty new experience for you.
I mean, I recognized some, but it was mostly updated.
How was the pregame? I know you told us earlier in the year that your dad hadn't taken you to a tailgate. So it seems like you guys did a little pregame activity, right?
We made our own tailgate.
There you go.
So my cousin, he works for J.E. Dunn.
Your uncle.
He works for J.E. Dunn, and his job site was right next to Bobby Dodd Stadium. So we just went and partied inside his office, watched game day for a little bit. Then we went to actually like this tunnel that leaded to Bobby Dodd Stadium. It was really cool.
That is cool. Yeah, your dad mentioned that. I've never done that. I've always walked across the bridge on North Avenue, like from the varsity. Is it like in the same? Is it there or?
I feel like it's like it has to be underneath the varsity. Like it has to be like underneath all that stuff because I kind of felt the same way. Like most of the time, it's just been walking across the bridge. But yeah, if you go to the Instagram, I posted a video of Carter and I and his uncle and grandpa walking through the tunnel. So
nice.
It was cool.
So what was better, the pregame or the game itself? What was more fun?
I mean, the pregame was pretty fun.
We played office chair football.
Yeah.
Nice. So you get there, your dad finally takes you tailgating, right, Carter? Yeah. You get to go tailgating.
Also, when we were at my uncle's office, we hit up some Little Debbie snacks.
Yes. Amazing.
I'm pretty sure my dad took a picture of him. It was him and my uncle. I think they were trying to do like a cigar where they're going.
Yes. I've seen the picture. That was good. You know, you got to celebrate with a cupcake when you play a cupcake like Georgia Tech, right? Right, Carter?
Pretty sure it was everybody that we.
It was. That sounds right. So when you get in the stadium, you get in your seats, how was the environment? Like what was the kind of atmosphere like? How did you feel?
Home game. It was all red. Like literally all red and black. The only part that stood out to me was probably the Georgia Tech marching band. That's the only like big partial bit of the stadium that was at least 10% filled by the college students and the marching band.
Okay. Did you see their car drive around in the field at all? Did you see the Ramblin' Wreck?
I saw the car on the big screen, but it was kind of like, it was like at that point, like we were in the upper deck, like it was at like the edge of the field, so it was pretty hard to see down there, but I saw a lot of it.
Okay.
Cool.
Nice. Yeah. That's like the only cool thing they have.
The jalopy. You saw the jalopy riding through campus.
So what did you think about the game itself? What do you think? Because this is the first time, you've been watching them on TV all year. I know you listened to some podcasts and everything. What was it like for you getting to see these guys play in person? What stood out to you?
Oh, the first thing that I want to mention is George Pickens getting to play. It was so loud when he came on the field. And it was a really big standing ovation for Pickens.
That's cool.
But overall, it was a fun experience. Like, we absolutely spanked them. 45-0. We whipped them. It was fun to watch.
I
Especially that Brock Bowers. He was zooming. I want to compare him to Naruto, just zooming through the Georgia Tech players. He was going fast, man.
He was. He flies. That one pass when he caught it, and took off, went 77 yards. That was pretty impressive. He really turned it on in that one.
He's basically Jordan Davis running the ball, but with much better speed.
Yes. So, I one thing I was wondering, I'm kind of curious, like, if we think back to when you were on with us in Logan this summer, right before the first game, if I was to ask you back then who was your favorite player, who would you have said?
Tough choice. Maybe that beautiful, beautiful man, JT Daniels.
Okay, that's what I was.
That would probably be Jordan Davis.
Yeah, Jordan Davis. Okay.
Seeing him score that running touchdown against Charleston Southern, it was beautiful, man.
Yeah. that's good. Okay.
Jordan Davis.
Yeah, I kind of figured it was that beautiful man back then in the summer. I was curious to see, who you would have gravitated to throughout the season. I think Jordan Davis is an excellent choice. Do you think he has a shot at the Heisman? Would he get your Heisman vote?
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, me vote.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's the best player on the best team, right? I mean, come on. Awesome. So how was, I guess, how was it, once like kind of, Georgia has, we can tell that Georgia was going to win. How did that feel? How was that feeling for you just to taste that victory at Tech, and how was the atmosphere and kind of like, the end of the game and then leaving the game, kind of walking around and everything? How was that?
It was good. I mean, like the day before we were going to go to the game, it was like, maybe we're going or maybe we're not. And I was just like, right. Dad, can we please go? This is going to be the one game that we're going to absolutely destroy them. I want to go see them, whip them. And then the next morning, I wake up and then I go to my dad's room. I see him with Georgia gear on. I'm just like, we're going? And he's just like, yeah, man, go get your Georgia stuff on. I'm just like, let's go.
So it was like a day of. You didn't even know until that morning.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's the thing. You can't make plans with him and then change them at the last minute. So I very rarely will tell him what's going on until we're about to leave.
Carter, you live in like a constant state of surprise with your dad. That sounds kind of fun though. That's a fun way to do things, right? Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad you got to experience it. I know when your dad started telling me that you guys might go, I was hoping you would, because I know how big of a fan you are, and this is a special team. So I'm happy for you that you got to see them in person. I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That means pretty much everybody in the family has seen Georgia play in person this season.
And then the cool thing is that now I have the pride to say I've gone to a Georgia game, a Braves game, and a what was the other Atlanta United game.
Yeah.
I mean the rest of the two, the Hawks are doing but the Falcons are garbage.
Yeah, we don't talk about them. We don't talk about them right now.
It's a waste of time. Your money
we'll just live through everything else. The Hawks are pretty good. Or they finished good last season. They're fun to watch. Trae Young's fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was one of our friends of the show, Matt Moore. I think hooked you up with those Atlanta United tickets. So he's an old buddy of mine. We've been friends for a long time. So that was good to hear. I'm glad he got to. You guys got to, or that your dad's gotten to meet him and got to do that. That's pretty cool. Well, what about, I don't know, any final thoughts? What did I forget to ask you? Do you have anything else you wanted to, was there anything else you were hoping to say that we hadn't got to?
I mean, you asked me some good questions, but I think you got through everything.
I like how you buttered me up here, Carter. You're making me feel good.
Overall, what was your number one highlight from the game? Like, just biggest takeaway.
Biggest takeaway: never sit next to Georgia Tech fans. I mean, so we started out in the upper deck. Then one of my neighbors, he was just like, "Hey, Carter, come sit with me." And we're just like, "Where the heck are you?" And they're just like, "We're in like row 100." I'm just like, "Let's go." I'm just like, "Dad, come on, let's go." And then we get down there, and then behind us, there's like this crazy psycho Georgia Tech fan. And then a few minutes later, after halftime, he got in a fight with a Georgia fan, and my dad just standing up, and he was just like, "I like your shirt." And he's just like, and the Georgia Tech fans just like, "I like yours too." I couldn't tell at that point if my dad was being sarcastic or just being straight up.
Sometimes you have to diffuse this. You got to diffuse the situation, right?
Yeah. There were some pretty cool Georgia fans behind us. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure, like, I showed them what podcast I was on, the Second String, obviously, and then I got a podcast, and they're just like, "Hey, are you the John on My God podcast son?" And I'm like, "Heck yeah!" And they're just like, "Hey, I need to shake your hand." And also at the Georgia game, my dad was getting asked by a bunch of people. They're just like, "Hey, are you that guy that's on My God podcast?" I'm just like, "Dad, people actually know you."
Yes, that's always fun. That's always fun. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Good times.
Well, I'm really glad you get to go. It sounds like you had an awesome time. And sounds like that was a good. I didn't realize it was like a day of surprise for you. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Who do you got? I can't let you go before I get a prediction from you for the SEC championship. Who you got? Who you got in the SEC championship?
I got Georgia winning 35-26 against Alabama.
Nice. Okay. All right. I like that. I will take that, Carter. I hope your prediction comes true.
I think Georgia's going to break away in the third quarter. It's going to be a tight game until halftime, and then Georgia's just going to devour them in offense and defense.
Nice. I like it. I like it, Carter.
For the memes, Kirby Smart lets Jordan Davis get another running touchdown in the SEC championship. That'll be fun.
That'll be legendary. That'd be shades of refrigerator Perry.
I can already see it. The first linebacker in SEC championship history, Jordan Davis, to score a touchdown.
The first nose tackle? Yeah.
Yeah, the first nose tackle.
That'll be pretty cool. All right. Well, I'm glad you came and talked to us. Get our bonus episode going here. And like I said, I'm glad you got to go to the game. And I'm sure we'll all be cheering on the Dogs this Saturday. Can we close it out with a Go Dogs?
Go Dogs! Seek 'em.